Beyonce and all this crap. It's just like, it's easy, you know. And like that Curious George record you're talking about, you know, they'd be a certain amount of dough, and it was like 4 days, and my wife and kids are in Vegas, and you know what I mean? Sometimes it doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, you know what, all I have to do is play guitar. When I'm doing a record, it's like everything else but play guitar, you know. Right. At first you're, you know, the composer, you're writing songs, you're arranging, which is, you know, you gotta go deep, and it's like all about just really get, you know, that's hard. That's hard. You really have to just make everything right, and writing is just a process. It's like building a frickin' space shuttle, you know. And then to get it recorded right, and the budget, and dealing with all the logistics and so forth, and mixing and mastering, and just every inch of the way. If you get it wrong, you know, you could lose it. You have to be on it. So it's, you know, a record is maybe 3-month process, or without the writing, you know, maybe 2. I don't know, you know, a few months. Yeah. And it's quite an undertaking. So it's always kind of leaves you exhausted, and it's like, I don't know if I have another one of these in me. Every time I do a record, you know. And you always think that every record you use is the greatest record in the world. Until people hate it, then you start, I always hate it too.
Touring out is a fun part, right?
Touring can be fun, or not, depending on what level. I just finished 6 weeks, 2 solos a week, and which is my project now. And you know, I love these guys, and I love the record, and I put a lot of work into it.
Good vibe.
But it was 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, quite a bit of my own money, you know, 75 grand of my own money, just investing in this. And I'm determined to succeed on some level, at least to fight another day, you know, with this record, with this band. So it's Johnny Chow from Cavalier Experience, Jordan from As I Lay Dying on drums. We have 2 guitar players, and one of them from Brides of Destruction. So, you know, it's a great band. I mean, but the thing is, we're out there in my wife's SUV, pulling a U-Haul trailer, driving 22,000 miles in 3 weeks. Staying, you know, rooming up together, staying in freaking shittiest hotels you could imagine. You know, black mold and cockroaches and crack addicts trying to break into our trailer, and fights and cops, and you know.
Yeah, good tour.
It was like that when I was 22, you know. I don't know if I could ever do that again. But it was one for the books, definitely.
All right, guys, come on. I'm not asking.
So, so we're having a conversation over here.
Yeah.
You guys want to get involved?
Come on, guys, jump in.
Which do you prefer, writing with when you have to worry about a singer or without? As far as your instrumental albums versus when you do the stuff that you have to back up for vocals or not? Or?
Well, I love writing songs, and I think that to me that's the most rewarding part. Not playing guitar or solos or anything, but just trying to write a great song. You know? And that's just really a learning process. Years and years and years of just listening and learning and searching yourself and trying to figure out what you're trying to say. And I really like bands. You know, I like being part of a band. I don't like being like a Steve Vai kind of guy or anything like that. I like the idea of playing with your brothers and your friends, and dealing with obstacles and challenges and succeeding at some level. To me, that's very rewarding, doing it together as a team. And I like songs. You know, I grew up on the Beatles and Zeppelin and, you know, bands with songs, you know. And to me, that whole guitar kind of solo thing that came on in the 80s, I sort of forced myself into it because it was kind of my job. You know, it was sort of expected of me. But it's not really something I'm very comfortable with, because I'm really not a school musician. I mean, I don't even know a frickin' scale. You know?
Right. Do you like to write the songs and then approach the band with them, or do you like to get together?
Oh, no, I always come up with parts, you know, like sitting around just riffs. With a drummer maybe, drum machine, whatever. And then once I get the body of my riffs together, that's the basis for all the songs. And I start piecing parts together. Just like everybody does. I'm sure it's all the same process. It's not rocket science. But you have to wait for inspiration to happen. And then the vocals, I'm really pretty detached from that. The singer is self-contained. Like Oni and London, they handle it. You know, I don't want to be having to handle it because it's not my strong suit. But there's been situations where I've had to, and I do kind of enjoy it. But being a lyricist is being a poet, and it's a whole different ability, gift. You know, and I mean, I can speak, but I can't write lyrics. And eloquently, where I'm really getting something across that people can relate to and tell a story and go pretty deep and be not corny. I tried to write some lyrics on my solo record back in '92 called Sacred Groove, and to this day, I mean, if you want to embarrass me, just hold up that lyric sheet. You know? Okay, who wrote?
Which song?
What's that super gay song that I wrote the lyrics to? You guys been singing it? We don't own this world. It's all right. It's a nice message, but it's ultra gay.
Awesome guitar solo.
I'm learning though, yeah, I'm getting better. By the time I'm 90, I'm going to be like, yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing you many years ago playing with Doc, and you opened up for Kiss. Do you have any thoughts on touring with Kiss?
Well, Doc can open up for so many big bands, and that's why I think we had success. We had tremendously powerful management, and Q Prime, Metallica, Queensryche, Madonna, frickin' Rolling Stones, and these guys.
So you
They
don't
said
have-
you were going to make it. You were going to make it, no matter how crap you were. Doc didn't deserve to make it as a band on its own merits. I don't believe. We eventually became. We kind of lived up to our expectations, I think, to a certain extent. When we started out.
Well,
I wouldn't have bought
I just want to tell you something
that.
that
That wasn't the question you asked me.
the Kiss really stank it up, and you guys totally blew them away.
Kiss isn't known for being.
Fire.
What would have made you buy a Doc and Marky back? What would you have changed?
Singer.
We're getting back together, so I don't want to.
You don't have to bash it, but I mean, was it?
We're doing shows, actually, in 2 weeks I'm doing a show with Judas Priest and Doc, and it's called Loud Park Festival.
You're getting back together now? Is that what you
I
said?
think we're working towards it, yeah.
Original Memphis?
Yeah, there's a couple little sticking points. But
Hey, I got a question about that
Don
doc.
talking.
I just heard that album, the new one, and that guy, I mean, he's cloned you to a T. I mean, you must be using the same. I was curious. I mean, are you kind of like bugged by that, or are you kind of more flattered that he's kind of
Either,
trying
I don't
to?
care. Don's kind of taking a different approach. He approaches Doc as a commodity and a kind of a.
Got to make it sound like
Yeah,
Doc.
it's like you don't change Coke's recipe, you know.
Right.
Leave Doc the same. Get somebody who sounds exactly like George and somebody who's just like Nick, and do the same formula over and over again. And that's a way to do it, I guess. You know, for Tracy's easy.
So flattered or bugged?
Neither actually. I've kind of just been building
Whatever.
about it. You know, I mean, I don't even think about it. It's not worth thinking about. You know, because I don't live in that world. To me, it's always about music is a living, evolving thing, just like people. And I think that your music should be a reflection of that. And if it isn't commercially as successful because of that, well, I'm willing to pay that price. But what am I going to do? Sit there and be a stool and just sit there and play the same frickin' 5 chords and the same formula over and over again? I ain't going to go through life like that. I want to do adventurous records to a certain extent. Of course, I don't completely go, you know, I'm not like crazy pure music or anything. You're like, oh my God, you had some guy rap or you did something tuned down. It's like, oh, that's crazy. I want to do that. It's not like I'm out there, you know, satellite strapped to my head, you know, on roller skates, for instance, synthesizers. They're just, rock music listeners are very conservative. I always assume the opposite. Musicians are always very kind of open to new things and want to hear you do something challenging and challenge them, you know, challenge the listener. But I haven't found that to generally be the case. Of course, there's exceptions. There are people that we want that, but
The record people, they used to push you to do that style of music.
no, I've never had a situation. I think that's a myth where a label comes in and puts pressure on you to do something. I've never had that. Very different record company go, well, we don't like that. This is what we wrote. This is our record.
Like it, take it or leave it.
Well, they don't have any choice. I mean, it's not even that they have a choice. I mean, you always try to do the best record you can. You just work really hard on it. I mean, unless you're some mega superstar that's got trillions of dollars and he can afford to redo the record, you go, oh, you should do that again. Well, the guy from Guns N' Roses, I guess he did that. But he got $13 million to do that, you know what I mean?
And
Maybe this
15
new
years to make a
Lynchmob record
CD.
is $34,000. 1/20th of the money we spent on Wicked Sensation. But we worked really hard.
You gonna tour with the new Lynchmob? Because I've been
Oh yeah, we're
actually
doing that
listening to it
Judas
for the
Priest
past
show.
month, and it's really
We're doing shows with Dokken actually. We're going on tour with Dokken.
Lynch and Doc.
Yeah.
Are you playing
15
double
shows.
duty?